Good morning. So last week we talked about Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks and the amazing work that they did to, reverse all of the vast injustices that were happening at that time. And not just that they spoke about it, they put feet to their words, right? They were able to motivate and mobilize both black and white to take action, following the wisdom of Gandhi's nonviolent protest, and that, inspired so many to just, step up. I mean, what was going on at that time, that particular time, to motivate so many to step out of their comfort zone, likely be arrested, potentially physically harmed. A lot of people were. I mean, those injustices were going on for a long time. I believe that it was the vision that Martin Luther King embraced and he shared so passionately. We also talked about last week, and we sang about how much more effective it is to work for a shared positive vision for what we want rather than to fight against something that we don't want. That just focuses energy onto what we're opposed to. And we know that what we focus energy on does what? It expands, absolutely. So somehow King knew this. And he knew the power of a compelling vision. And this vision didn't just come out of nowhere. He didn't just sort of make it up. It was a vision that was emerging in the hearts of many. Many people were experiencing this because the time had come. Evolutionarily speaking, it was time. And he and others kind of caught that vision, embraced it, committed to it, spoke about it passionately, and worked for it. So remember that little formula, because we're going to come back to that. Now, today, I don't know, it seems like we've kind of forgotten the power of a shared positive vision. And I don't know, maybe it's because we are so inundated with crazy-making bad news on a continual basis, kind of like Chinese water torture. It's just like, I can't see, And sometimes I feel like, every new day it's something else. And if I'm honest, it just makes my blood boil. And I start imagining all the negative repercussions of it. So I forget temporarily the power of vision, the power of visioning what we want to experience, in our lives and collectively. But what kind of shocked me back to sanity, to a sense of hopefulness and just really a vision of this world working for everyone. And I know you're going to laugh. Because this is actually, a lot of comedians have had a field day with this. But it was when people started about Oprah running for president, right? Now, I'm not endorsing her. I'm not sure we should have another celebrity president. So it was less about her and more about the vision that was reignited in me about, whoa, what would it be like to have an enlightened president? Leader of the free world. What would that be like? To have somebody who's committed to their spiritual core in a kind of non-dogmatic, respectful of everyone else's faith kind of way. Someone who was honestly compassionate. Someone who actually listens to others. Can you imagine? I mean, I started thinking and envisioning, and what would it be like for someone who respected this planet and did whatever it took to help take care of it? What would it be like for a leader to ensure that everyone had an equal opportunity to live their best life? Well, yes, okay, yeah, we did have that, right? Yeah, but we've forgotten, I think, we've forgotten that vision, so we kind of need to get back to this vision, living, everyone an equal opportunity of living their best life. This was, again, not that particular person, not a particular person, but just this vision of our country being a force for good in the world. Can you imagine our country being a force for good in the world, where everyone is sort of living their best life, which usually includes being of service in some kind of way, and in that, doing that, we solve all the world's problems. Yeah. And again, this vision is not coming out of nowhere. This is, evolutionarily speaking, the next step. We need to take this next step, right? And some people are catching this vision. Let me show you this. Last week, Time magazine, if you have seen this, the entire magazine was about leaders and opinion makers on their optimistic views of the future. Look at that little face. Isn't that little boy? He's so sweet. Well, so an Ethiopian boy, Muhammad Nasir, celebrating his 5th birthday. Why is that important? Because 30 years ago, 1 in 5 children did not make it to their 5th birthday. And now things are shifting, and there is, since 2012, remember the shift of 2012? Well, that definitely made a shift, and child mortality rates dropped dramatically. And so millions more kids in that country and many others, they have food security, they have access to medical care, and they have a future. It has an article, Malala Yousafzai, and also Melinda Gates, both wrote articles where they see a new era, where women are taking back their power, and they're taking the lead. Do you feel that happening?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. How many of you went to the Women's March yesterday? I saw some pictures on Facebook. Yeah. I know. And even in countries where there is, women are traditionally very oppressed, more and more girls are allowed to go to school. Now, we have a long way to go there, but they both see that tide turning. Warren Buffett writes about how he believes that our children will have greater prosperity and greater ease than we ever did. And he talks about this thing called universal prosperity. Doesn't that have a lovely ring to it?
Yes.
Universal prosperity. I just love that. I love that. Trevor Noah is the host of The Daily Show. He talks about how millennials are moving away from the hashtag activism, that sort of armchair activism, and moving into action, actually becoming engaged and helping to make a difference in the world. Also, we are this close, researchers say we are this close to finding a cure for Alzheimer's disease. We are also very close to a cure for cancer. I think that's going to happen in our lifetime. I mean, is that something to celebrate?
Yes.
Oh my God. I mean, all of this amazing things that are happening that we don't necessarily hear about on the evening news or read about the front page of the newspaper. Bill Gates talks about this positive relationship between wealthy entrepreneurs like himself and his wife and the U.S. government. And that together, those resources and that focus, helping to eliminate childhood diseases worldwide. They're investing in renewable energies worldwide. They're getting ahead of any possible pandemics, And speaking of renewable energies, that technology is now cheaper to produce than fossil fuels for the first time. This makes a difference. Do you see there is an emerging vision happening here for a world that works for everyone, and it's time we all got on board, right? Yes? Yes, absolutely. It's time we get on board that train and talk about it passionately, share it with others, and embrace that vision. Because as we begin to embrace that empowering vision, we counteract all that negative news that's been filling our brains, shaping our conversation. And it's kind of like, we say in our mission statement, I am on a journey toward wholeness, right? Well, that's true for us individually. It's also true for us collectively. And sometimes we know that journey is not all sunshine and flowers. Sometimes it's a little dark. As Marilyn said the other day, sometimes that journey does not feel like I want to celebrate it. That's true, right? Sometimes it's dark, it's twisted, we can't find our way. But if we dig deep enough, we can see the underlying perfection of it. It's like the analogy that I shared in the White Stone service about the acorn. That the first thing to grow from that acorn are the roots. So from the surface, it looks like there's nothing happening, that it's barren, it's even bleak. But under the surface, there is so much happening. That's where that emerging tree is getting its strength. That's where it's connected to source energy, so to speak. So that acorn is in process of becoming what it is coded to be, a mighty oak tree. Well, what's true of nature is also true of all of us, right? We are all in process of emerging from that seed, that divine seed idea. And we are coded for wholeness. We're coded to be magnificent, loving, joyful, successful beings who make a positive difference in the world. We are coded for magnificence. Let's say that together. I am coded for magnificence. I am coded for magnificence. Yes, you are. You are. And I'm talking about this vision that is, coded in the soul. It's not like you got to figure it out. What is that? What am I supposed to be doing? Where's the vision? I don't know. I'm trying to make it up. Well, maybe this, maybe that. No self-initiated plans, as the Course in Miracles says. This is about the vision that was there from before you were born. And so it's just a matter of opening up to it, catching that vision, embracing that vision, speaking about it passionately, committing to it, taking action. There it is. There's that formula, right? So I thought this still is kind of the beginning of the year, January. So I thought this would be a great opportunity for us to really open to that vision, that divine vision that is in process of emerging through and as us. And so we're going to do a little exercise in a minute doing this. And we're going to do it for ourselves, in our own lives, because, hey, it begins with us, right? That's what we sing every Sunday, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. It begins with us. And then in a future service, I thought maybe we would also open to that, a vision that is emerging for a world that works for everyone. Okay, so if you would just get comfortable, put down anything that might be in your laps, just kind of get comfortable in your seats. Where am I? And begin to take a few deep breaths. Breathing in that peace, releasing anything that would distract us from this present moment and this present peace. Breathing in that oneness, that connection to the divine wisdom within us. And on the out-breath, just release any preconceived notion you have here about what this is going to be like, what this is supposed to feel like. Just let that go. So your intention really here is really to connect with that infinite wisdom within, that divine presence through and as you. It's not about imagining goals that you want realized. It's more about opening to that divine vision that was already here before you were born, that is in process of emerging. So connecting with the heart center, we open our heart, we open our consciousness, we connect in with that divine wisdom. And once there, we ask this presence, our higher self. What is the highest vision for my life? What is its essence? What is trying to emerge through me and as me? And just open. Listen. See what's coming. It could come in little bits and pieces here and there that don't seem related. You could see the entire picture. For some, it's more symbolic, so try not to judge how it comes. Just open. And we'll just listen in the silence for a couple of moments. We want to ask our inner wisdom, that power of creative imagination, one of those 12 powers. Just feel that imagination power center in your forehead just lighting up. And ask, what does it feel like to be living this vision? We open up our feeling nature and allow the vibration of that to fill us up, breathing it in, allowing that feeling to expand, radiating through our entire body, our entire energy field. Really allowing ourselves to feel, to be enveloped by the warm glow of that vision. And taking a deep breath in, express some gratitude for anything that you might have received. This is a process, so if you just got a little tiny inkling, just know that you can come back to this. This is a process. And let's begin to bring our awareness back into the room. And you'll find in your program there in the handout, which is probably towards the back, there is a sheet that has some space there for you to write anything that may have come to you. And if it's, too small of a space, you can also use the back. There should be a pen. Does anybody not have a handout? Oh, Chris has got some. Just put your hand up if you don't have a handout. All right, so this is how we begin to embrace the vision, by opening up and catching that vision, allowing ourselves to feel the vibration of this, living this vision, just getting into that feeling tone of it, writing it down, reviewing it, and repeating this process, continuing to work with it. This is how we embrace the vision. And then the next thing we want to do is to create congruence with all levels of our being. We are multi-level beings, so we want to make sure all of it is in agreement with this vision. So in other words, if we're doing this work, we're visioning, we're meditating, we're affirming, we're writing things down, we're allowing ourselves to feel the energy of this vision, and then 30 minutes later, we're complaining about something over here. It doesn't have to necessarily be related to it. Or maybe we're angry at something, we're blaming somebody. Or maybe we're just like in doubt, like how is this ever going to appear? Then we sort of canceled it out, right? We're not congruent with the vision. There's a part of us that's out of alignment with it. So we want to become conscious of all of the other times that we're not visioning, all of the other times in the day, and ask ourselves, is what I am doing and thinking and feeling in alignment with this vision? And if it's not, that's okay. Just take a deep breath and recommit. This is how we commit to this vision. This is how we commit. And it's how we nurture the growth. You know, we're either nurturing the growth of this emerging vision, or we're choking it off. We're choking off the growth. So you'll see other steps in there about continuing to work on this. We want to also begin to speak positively and passionately. Now, you don't have to go ahead and share this. If it's not ready yet, it's still like, you know, in this little state where it's not quite ready. You don't have to share it with people. But just watch your language and how you're sharing other things. How are you speaking? You know, positively, possibility thinking, or is it, you know, like doubtful thinking? So we want to speak positively about this and ourselves and the world. That's how we continue to commit and work towards it. So we're going to be talking more about this in the next few weeks and working on this. So please take this home and, continue to work on it. And then in the meantime, let's say that wonderful affirmation together again, which is, I am coded for magnificence, right? Here we go. I am coded for magnificence. Yes, and so it is. All right, thank you.